Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Balls in Your Face Marketing. Strap yourselves in because I have a feeling we are all in for a wild ride as I try to handle quite possibly the largest pair of Lucille balls this show has ever seen. We're about to find out whether this old hound dog can keep up with the fox, because I got none other than the approachable and hilarious Judi Fox.
Foxy lady, lazy, lazy, lazy.
My height button here. Oh, I couldn't find it. That's so bad. Oh, wait, I got it. Can I hit it?
You can hit it. Oh, there we go.
It's working.
Oh, there we go.
Doing environmental consulting for companies as an independent consultant, just to make ends meet and to start, how was I going to share what I knew? And then the second thing it started was I then have a whole shelf full of books about networking and what was it? I threw myself full force into the job search. And then that's when I feel like rubber really hit the road for how do you get your resume looking amazing? How do you market and put yourself out there? You're your own brand.
I mean, this is the way the economy is going. Artificial intelligence is going to displace a lot of people. Machines and robots are going to displace a lot of people. So the fact that you kind of have that head start, started to get into that idea of how can I, sell myself, network, find opportunities, create opportunities for myself. Frankly, give now at this point in time, as I'm sure that was a very sort of, as you said, like a shock to the system and very sort of difficult, scary kind of time. But at this point now, you're probably looking at it going, man, I got a head start on everybody else.
My biggest tip is not to be right out front all salesy.
Yeah.
And I talk a lot about, people ask me what space am I in, especially with marketing or with sales. Are you B2B? Are you C2B? Are you whatever? And I'm like, I'm H to H. I've always just been H to H, human to human. At
the end of the day, people are buying from real people. And it's probably always been the case. People don't buy from companies. They buy from people who they know, like, and trust. Your stuff is just, it's wild, it's crazy, it's fun. It's very fun. But I don't think anybody is like, I think if other people did it, it would seem very forced, right? Because they'd be trying to do something, that's just you.
I think you can get a lot done through humor and through just having some joy in your life. I think a lot of times I walked into corporate offices and I was just kind of slugging away at my job. And it was kind of, to be honest, a little miserable sometimes. And so that's why I feel like I'm a little bit of a uncaged bird that's like, oh my gosh, finally, like, let's have a little fun while we solve some serious problems, but you can still have a little bit of fun. But one thing I wanted to say about your AI comment, and when you talk about authenticity, that's why authenticity is a new value currency to combat that. There is that is a number one way that being on video, number one, people can see how authentic you are. They can see if you keep showing up the same way or if you were just full of crap. Or people like to hire and work with people they trust. They like to hire and work with people that are a little bit fun, I think, at least the people hiring me. So
well, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. There's the expression that everybody uses, sort of find your tribe now. I've been trying to push back on that and turn it into find your village. And in part, I say it for, again, not that I expect this to catch on, but I mean, really it's because, I think because of the fact that we're going to this sort of gig economy, this freelance economy, that we're sort of moving back to a village economy. Right, like where exactly it's individuals, focusing in on their zone of genius, their strengths, and then helping each other out for whether this for whatever it is that you hate to do. There's somebody who loves to do it.
Yeah,
came from a slip of the tongue. That was me. I've always had a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You know what? Then okay. Then I won't do business with you. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Well, and I think for so many years we felt like we couldn't do that because we had to fit into these boxes.
Yeah.
Either a cubicle box, a corporate box, a business box.
Those companies have sort of commoditized their employees, where it's like, okay, you know, we can bring them in, hire them, fire them. There is no loyalty either way, right? So nobody's loyal to them. That as a result, their reputations, I think, have suffered tremendously, because if you were, you know, went in and felt like you were sort of worked to the bone and then kicked out the door, well, you know, are you going to speak well of them? No. And because of the fact that everyone was fitting into this box, they are characterless.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think the power is moving back to the people.
Back to the people.
Right? Well, I mean, that's the thing, right?
Company, I mean, people are still all made up within these companies. And sometimes I look at people within the companies, sometimes buying into the whole thing. I'm looking at them and I'm in a meeting going, can we still just be human to human here? Because I don't know what you're protecting. It's so interesting because, again, there's a human being above you as a boss or a manager or a VP or higher. They're all still just human beings. So I'm curious why there's maybe a whole training program that I missed or something
Yeah.
that you're supposed to get that tells you to protect at all costs everything at all times. So I almost feel like some companies, the individual people above you start to get threatened if you start looking like you're bigger than them, or you're growing, or you're all active on LinkedIn, and everyone's all, well, what are you doing on that platform? And don't you have a job? And I'm like, well, I can still be growing my personal brand, because what if I don't have a job? I've already been through it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not go through that again that's why I do what I do. That's why I keep going and keep pushing and keep helping other people, because we don't know when the economy is going to crash again. We don't know when things are going to go up and down in any industry, whether the whole economy does.
Yeah.
So,
And by the way, though, when an economy does crash, usually the freelancers fare better.
I did a post the other day saying I threw work-life balance out the window because I just couldn't stand the term.
Yeah.
It was not that I'm not anti-balance.
Yeah.
It's just that there was only two buckets, and they always had this visual image of always having to be equal. And it seemed so like separate. Like you said, here's work and I'm doing this, and then here's life and life balance. Why can't it just be like life's?
Yeah, just life. Exactly. Well, I mean, I had Fraser Cameron on the show, and he had a great point about that. Exactly. That the work-life balance, it implies that you have to take from one in order to give to the other. And it serves as an example to my children about the value of pursuing what drives you, pursuing the things that you love.
Well, and then you're happier and you're able to share that. It has a ripple effect into the rest of the world and into the rest of the life. And I feel like I can't give up happiness anymore. I have a fox.
Look at that. There you go. Oh, yes, I know. Well, I've seen the fox. Your fox is all, you're matching.
Aww.
Look at you guys. You're matching. She's got little purple paws, too. Judi, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've got big balls. I've got big